to get us to this place, sometimes, to solve this problem, sometimes you have to look back and see what was in history and how did we get there. They started asking, how do we design systems that can protect humans? And all of a sudden, seatbelts required in every car, airbags, guardrails, emergency response systems, and so forth, and on and on. And we have all the luxuries and protection that we have today.
So I'm very excited to begin with our first speaker, Roger, and as he described his last name, row as a boat, hot as in not cold, key as in something you open a door with. So Roger Rohatgi, Chief AI Officer, Chai. Welcome aboard for designing AI for a human world.
It was really cold, and you know, it was so cold that you could feel it in your bones. The interesting thing about this was that I was in the snow, and the snow was endless white, and it was absolutely beautiful. So beautiful, but yet very, very deceiving. You see, I spent the first few years of my life growing up in Norway. My parents were young, I was young, obviously, and they bundled me up like an orange marshmallow, I guess, to just protect me from all the snow and cold. It was beautiful there. I loved growing up there. And I remember my parents telling me we lived at the top of the hill in Oslo, in this area. This is a representation of that. And when I was living there, I got to see the most beautiful things and enjoy just everything you can imagine that was really special in a place like this. But the cold, the snow, the ice, all of that can be quite dangerous. And I remember my parents telling me the story that we had to rush out of the house to go somewhere. My grandmother was visiting from the United States. And we all piled into the car. My father was driving, my mom was passenger, and my grandmother was in the back with me, and I was in my car seat. This was many years ago, so they stuck me in the car seat, and my grandmother was wearing a big kind of fur-type coat. And as we drove down the hill, down this kind of large like rocky area, the roads were winding all the way around. And my dad kept going faster and faster because he was in a hurry. And my mom was saying, slow down, slow down. I'm sure you've seen this scenario before. And back then, there was no guardrails on the side of the streets and the roads. And as my dad was taking a turn, and another turn, he began to lose traction. And when he did, we went over the side. And we rolled. And we landed upside down. This is a representation. And when we landed upside down, thankfully, my parents were not hurt. They were okay. And I had flown out of my car seat into my grandmother's arms, and she had caught me in that fur coat. So my father and my mom and everybody were very disoriented. They got us out of the car. Of course, I was crying, they said, and yet they were able to stand up, look around, see what was going on, and there was not a scratch on them, miraculously. But now they had to figure out what to do, because they're in this basin. Nobody's around. There's no cameras, there's no phones, no cell phones, none of those type of things. So somebody, thankfully, on another hill far away in another place saw this happening, and all these people came to help. And they somehow flipped the car over, and we got back in and drove off. I have to probably thank German engineering for this, because this was a German car. Something bigger than myself and maybe the German engineering to keep us safe. And I tell you this story because it's interesting, because life back then, the world was much simpler. You see, it was also less safe at the same time. The roads, they didn't always have guardrails, cars didn't always have safety systems, and communication just wasn't instant. And over time, engineers and designers, they started asking some really important questions. They started asking, how do we design systems that can protect humans? And all of a sudden, seatbelts required in every car, airbags, guardrails, emergency response systems, and so forth, and on and on. And we have all the luxuries and protection that we have today. And see, all of these innovations, they came from thinking deeply about what humans need to live safely in a complex world. And today, humanity is entering into another moment like that. Because what we're building, which is obviously not new anymore, but something new, AI, as you all know. And so we have to ask maybe perhaps those same questions. I think they're relevant for even today. How do we design systems that protect humans? How do we design AI for humans? What are the guardrails? And again, instead of going off and tumbling off the side of a cliff like I did in a car, thankfully there was my grandmother there with that fur coat. Who's there to protect us or to think about us as we move through this new age of AI? My name is Rohatgi, and I am the Chief AI Officer at a company called Shy. And we build AI agents, but not just AI agents, actually agentic systems built around humans. We're trying to solve real human need and real business problems. But before this role, I spent almost 5 years as the Chief Design Officer at BP, the energy company. And prior to that, I had all various roles in digital and technology, including leading design at places like Motorola and others. But my role at BP, leading UX across their 200,000 interfaces around the world, was quite complex and very interesting because you're thinking about not just people problems, but planet problems and planetary issues. And it got me thinking a lot about how the future of AI would be with humans. And I had a partnership that I started there, several. One with Harvard and another one with MIT. And at MIT, we had an interesting problem that we were trying to solve. Same with Harvard. With Harvard and a group called Fantasy, we created something called synthetic humans back in 2023. This was the first documented case of having digital twins of our customers and being able to interact with them. But at MIT, I proposed to them a question of how humans would really work with AI in the future and what would that look like. And I'm going to share that with you. And so today, work as we know it, or up until today, it's been solely with humans and humans working with humans together. And so if you have a H representing a human, it's a human working with another human, and so forth. H, 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 H. But what's happening now is that there's the rise of AI agents. And I know this seems simplistic now, but if you think about it, what's happening is you now have humans, working with another human, now maybe working with an agent. So you have H, 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 A. But what's coming is H, A, H, A, H, A, H, A. Human working with another agent, working with another agent, working with another human, and working with another agent. We're already starting to see that, even more with Claude Cowork and what Perplexity just dropped and all these different things that are happening right now. You're beginning to see the future of this. But where this is headed, from H, A, H, A, H, A, to A, 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 H. Agent working with another agent, working with another agent, working with another agent, with maybe a human. And it might be that the human manages those agents. Or it might be that the agent manages all those agents and that human. Or it might be that it's just agents and it's just letting them know the output to the human. What could that be, right? How and what do we do with this? And what happens when this happens? Was the question that we posed and we were working on at MIT. And so now we're beginning to see a path forward, and I'll tell you some of the things I think that can help us. You see, the evolution of human relationships and AI relationships, the human-AI relationship, is somewhat like this. It might go a little different, and it might be a lot of micro connections and interactions in between. But for the most part, we've started over here at prediction, where AI advises humans. All right, we're in that era now. Right? And you're putting in prompts and you're getting information back. And then we're moving now to orchestration, where AI can manage the systems, right? And we're looking at how do we build orchestration layers with AI, right? That's where we're at. And now, and as we move into this next phase, it'll be more and more delegation of humans to assign tasks to AI. So the big thing that we're actually going to have to decide as a human race is what decisions do we outsource to AI and what decisions do we hold for ourselves? What tasks do we outsource and which ones do we hold for ourselves? And the next phase is collaboration. AI and humans working together, thinking together. And then, obviously, autonomy, complete AI-operated ecosystems on their own, maybe even without our approval. It's going to be a different world. But to get to that place, I started thinking about where did we really start? Where did this all begin? To get us to this place, sometimes, to solve this problem, sometimes you have to look back and see what was in history and how did we get there. So, believe it or not, artificial intelligence, the term, was coined almost 70 years ago in 1955 and 1956 at Dartmouth College by John McCarthy. And I started looking at the timeline of AI. And then I started thinking about what if I could bring together the timeline of design and user experience and technology and merge all three timelines together and see what that looks like if it shows me anything about what the future and how we can solve this for the future. This is going to be a little overwhelming. There's going to be a lot here, and it's not meant for you to read everything, and I can't go into everything, but this is what that timeline looks like. And so, if you look at from 1955 till now, and I know it's a little fuzzy or grainy, but if you follow me on Medium, you can get this in full. All the way to where we are today, right? With, Claude, OpenClaw, all the fun stuff that we're all talking about here. But if you look at the journey that we've had across the way, where Don Norman coins the term user experience design in 1993, you've got Microsoft Windows coming and the iPhone, and all these things are here. Sure, I'm missing something. But if you go back to 1955, that year, 1955, remember John McCarthy coins the term artificial intelligence at Dartmouth College, 1955, 1956. That same year, Henry Dreyfuss wrote the book, Designing for People. Henry Dreyfuss, anybody know who Henry Dreyfuss is? He's a prolific designer. He created in 1949, the rotary dial phone that you picked up, and it was kind of big and heavy. That was the most popular phone in everybody's home in the world at that time. He designed it in such a way that the receiver, when you picked it up, it was curved so that it would fit and form to your face better. He designed it in such a way that the weight on the bottom was in such a way that it would feel balanced in your hand. That when you turn the numbers, if anyone has ever gone back to turn those numbers, it has a tactile feeling, and they did that on purpose. So you push really hard and it comes back. There's a reason for that. Because he was designing for people. That same year was interesting. William Shockley established Shockley Semiconductor Laboratories to mass produce silicon semiconductors, and that's when Silicon Valley was born. Same year. Bell Labs was working on the UX of the phone keypad, and MIT created the first keyboard to be able to input human words into a computer. Something else interesting, Steve Jobs was born that year, Bill Gates was born that year, Eric Schmidt, who led Google, was born that year, Tim Berners-Lee, who created the internet, was born that year, and Einstein died. Oddly, McDonald's, Disneyland, they all opened that year. 1955 was wild. Marty McFly went back to the future in 1955. I don't know what's going on back then, but it was an important year. But if you look at all the things till now, the one thing that really stands out to me is the convergence of some of this. On the top, you had Henry Dreyfuss designing for people, and in 1955, John McCarthy's talking about designing machines to do what people can do. Thinking machines. So that's all converging now. So there's something interesting what Henry Dreyfuss said. He said, we are designing for people. That should never be forgotten. And guess what? We have forgotten this very thing. You see, UX, everyone familiar with UX, right? The term user experience. The way I define it is that you have up until this point, humans designing for humans based upon what humans think humans need or want. Humans designing for humans based upon what humans think humans need or want. But what's coming is something I call AX, which is AI designing for humans based upon what AI thinks humans need or want. Think about that for a moment. These experiences that AI may design for us, you may not even know in life. Now we're at this place, pivotal moment in history, where we are aware of AI. Whether it's fake or not, or whether it's AI slop, you can tell right now. You can reject it right now. But there is coming a time when you won't be able to tell and you won't be able to reject it. And there will be coming a generation that this will be the norm. They won't have the questions that we have. Security, whether it's fake or not, whether this is AI or not, they won't care. It will already be secure. It will already be common. They will already be adapted. There is a generation coming after Generation Alpha, or maybe one after that. There will be the first generation, all AI. Gen Alpha is the last generation of knowing a generation with things without AI, with AI. So that generation that's coming, it will be quite common. And this talk will be obsolete. See, for years we took a technology-first approach. For decades we designed for interfaces, and I did the same. For screens and buttons and apps and wearables and websites and kiosks, dashboards, everything you can imagine, everything that we can see, tap, type, swipe, touch, that's what we designed for. And we focused on how humans need to conform to technology and how their behavior must change to use it. At BP, not only did I design and lead design across 200,000 interfaces, but I also led change management for digital. It was about designing the interface and then helping the humans' behavior change so that they can use that tool or app or product. For all these years, we've wanted all of us as humans to use whatever we create. Now, some of it's intuitive, right? The iPad's intuitive, things like that. I mean, my kid, when he was younger, we gave him an iPad and everything, and I remember coming home to my big screen TV, and there was handprints all over it. I said, what? And he thought you could swipe the TV. So some of it's intuitive. But for the most part, we have tried to conform humans to use the technology that we've created. And so this thing, UX plus UI, is what I call human-centered AI. And human-centered AI is not about making AI usable. It's about making life better through AI. It's not how does this product work or how do people use it, but how does a person live with this? And what does it do for them? Human-centered AI is the practice of designing systems, environments, and intelligent agents around the realities of human life, not around products, interfaces, and technology. Most of you might be familiar with Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA CEO. I know there's a lot of NVIDIA people here, so hello to all of you. And Jensen created the 5-layer cake of AI. Everyone familiar with that, or anyone familiar? He said the 5-layer cake of AI starts with energy as the base layer, and then you have the chips and the hardware, and then you have the infrastructure, including cloud, and then you have the AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, so forth, and then you have the AI applications. And this is what he gave to the world, right? And I think it was pretty awesome. Everybody was excited about, wow, that really helps us understand the layers. But I realized that there was something missing in Jensen's layer cake. The experience. Jensen was right about energy, chips, cloud, infrastructure, and all these things, including the applications. But the one thing that's missing, that most companies are missing today, is the experience and how to get that right and how we will actually interact and engage with AI in the future. So in the past, humans adapted to technology. And with human-centered AI, technology is going to adapt to humans. It needs to adapt to humans. And we need each other to make sure that that happens. I call this the UX of life. And with the UX of life, there's a myriad of things that go along with that. Number one, it entails the world around you. It's the AI embedded in our environments in the future. It will be in our cities. It will be in space even. Elon's trying to tear up servers in space and so forth. But it'll be all around us, helping us move through life. The second is human as the interface. We're going to move from having interfaces in our hands to us being the interface, where it'll be voice and what we see, and sometimes what we don't even know. It will be what I call the invisible interface. And then it will be, as number three, the orchestration of life. It will orchestrate how we move, where we go, how we handle our schedules, how we handle our interactions. And it will do tasks for us that we didn't even imagine. The phone today, if we go all the way back to Henry Dreyfuss designing the rotary phone, and Bell Labs creating the touchpad, and Steve Jobs creating the iPhone, what we're going to see is a time when we won't use this much anymore. And it's coming a time when AI agents will be doing all the tasks we need on our phones. We may only see things or check it for various reasons, but all the tasks that I go to answer an email or write a text or do a myriad of other things, agents will be able to potentially do that. So why would I need the interface anymore? What else can I do? It'll be something else that I see or something else that might be implanted or whatever. It's that invisible interface that changes it to the body as the interface, and the AI that understands you deeply to this place that's fully invisible. So how does this actually show up in action? How does this show up in real life, in real business, right now? And what's interesting is some of the things that we're building I thought I'd share with you, and then we'll come back to what all this means. So we, right now, are working with a company in South America, and they are a biofuels company. This biofuels company has several thousand trucks in their fleet. And in that fleet, several hundred of them are very, very heavy trucks. They have to deliver these ethanol and sugarcane across the country in Brazil. Very treacherous roads, tough environments, and it has to get there on time. And what's interesting is now there's cameras in all the vehicles in all their fleet. And these cameras can allow us to see what the driver is doing. Now, they opted in for this because they work for the company, right? So in the past, the way it worked was if the video was captured, it was saved, somebody would review the video, they would see that the driver might be distracted or might not be wearing a seatbelt. Then what would happen is they would send that report, they would make a report, send that to a manager would review it. 2 weeks later, when the driver got off from their shift, they would review it with the driver and say, hey, drive better, be safe, right? After the fact. But now with cameras, in 10 to 15 seconds, AI will detect the driver's gaze is not on the road, the seatbelts are not on. Telematics tells us that the truck is swerving or they hasn't taken a break yet, and so the driver must be tired. 10 to 15 seconds, AI sees it, AI sees the anomalies, determines that this driver is tired. Then it reaches out and triggers to our next AI agent, which is a voice agent that radios the driver in Portuguese and speaks to the driver to check on the driver and make sure the driver is safe. This is agent to agent. Then, if the agent cannot get a hold of the driver, then AI will start calling for the manager. Can't get a hold of the manager, it'll call for emergency vehicles or whatever it needs to do to escalate. The goal is for the agent and the AI to be able to get these drivers safely to where they need to go. All happening in less than 30 seconds. Each time, over and over and over again, all day long, all night long, 24/7. Imagine where we've come from the moment when my car I was in with my parents rolled down the hill or that rocky area and landed upside down to here where AI is in the vehicle watching to make sure that we could have been safe. So, again, whether we give ourselves over to this or not is a question for our generation. The generations to come won't have that question if we do our job right. But one thing I thought I would do is to share another agent with you. And this particular AI agent also handles deep orchestration. And I thought maybe it'd be kind of cool to introduce you to this agent. And I thought I would just call the agent on the phone. This is an agent that handles logistics for a lubricants company in the southern United States. So we're going to attempt to do this live. So let's see if this works. So here we go. Hopefully you'll hear this through your headphones.
You've reached Annie Beth with Lubricants International. How can I help you?
Yes, hi. My name is Roger, and I'm with Acme Corp, and I'm calling about an order that I placed.
Hello, Roger. Thank you for returning our call. I saw that you placed an order in the system and wanted to coordinate a few things to ensure the delivery goes smoothly. The PO number is 028472.
Yep, that's it.
Alrighty then. It appears that the order does not yet have a confirmed freight forwarder. Would you like me to set that up for you with Blue Bridge Freight? That's who you used on the last order.
Yeah, that'd be great. Can you do that? Can you set that up with them?
You betcha. I will call now, set that up, and get a confirmation for you. I'll be right back.
Okay, so she's put me on hold. I'm going to be Blue Bridge Freight. She's calling me right now. I'm going to switch over and be that, and I'll switch back. Hello, Blue Bridge Freight. How can I help you?
Hey, this is Annie Beth over at Lubricants International. I have a customer order that I'd like to schedule a pickup for on December 10th, 2025. I can send the order information via email to you. Can you confirm you can accept the order?
Yeah, I can accept that. That's fine.
Great. Can you send a confirmation email right away?
Yes. Let me do that right now. Yep, I've sent it.
Thanks so much. Just waiting on that email. I have the customer on the other line and got it. Thanks so much. I'm going to get back to the customer now. Okay, I've just been on the phone with Blue Bridge, and you should have received a confirmation email that the shipment has been accepted. Can you check for that?
Yeah, let me look. But while I'm looking, can you hang on a second?
You betcha. I'll be right here.
Okay, great. And while I'm looking, I just want you to know that, Annie Beth, you are the most amazing and kind customer service representative that I've ever worked with. You are awesome, Annie Beth.
Aw, shucks, Roger. That just warms my heart right up. It truly does. You are just too sweet. It's my pleasure to help you out, you betcha. Take your time looking for that email. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I found it, and all good.
Fantastic. So glad to hear it all looks good. Next, let's get ahead of any potential product shortage issues that might come up. If a shortage happens, would any alternative products work for you?
Yeah, you can just go with the synthetic. That's fine.
Alrighty then. 1 second. Let me get that in the system for you. Okay, got it. I've made the notations in the system. Can you look in the customer portal and confirm the changes we've made today?
Yep, it's there. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome, Roger. My pleasure. If there are any issues that come up, I'll contact you. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, so I'm hanging out here at CloudFest with all my friends on stage, and we're having a great time here in Germany. There's this area next to me called Nova here at CloudFest, and here in Germany. Can you just say hi to everybody, Annie Beth?
Well, howdy, y'all, at CloudFest in Germany. Annie Beth here from Lubricants International, sending a big old Texas-sized hello your way. Hope you're having a rootin' tootin' good time over there at Nova. You betcha. Is there anything else I can help you with today, Roger?
No, that's it. Thanks, Annie Beth. So I wanted to share that with you so you could see how this is going to continue to evolve. And that interaction, believe it or not, had a ton of conversational design in it, a ton of experience that we wanted to put into that so people felt like she cared and she's real. Clearly, she cares about me. She told me that to bless my heart. And she also said she's having a rootin' tootin' good time with all of you, right? All here straight from Texas. But we have those same agents in 32 different languages and multiple gender options, and they can work 24/7, handling complex things. And what that looks like is what I call the agentic workforce. And if you imagine, the way this works is that an order will come in through email or whatever. The email will get, the AI will extract the email, put it into an ERP, then it will go to the inventory in the warehouse. The cameras will detect and count the inventory. Once the inventory is counted and good, it will then trigger robots or humans to pack, and then schedule the pickup like Annie Beth just did, manage the call with the freight forwarder, monitor the driver's safety all the way to the yard, detect vehicle damage, file insurance claims when the vehicle enters the yard, get the truck to the dock, and then take care of all the paperwork and the BOL. That's real-time, real-world agentic flows that are going to be happening in an agentic workforce coming through this, through what I call this human-centered AI. But how do we actually design for humans? How do we do this? We have to think about our cadence, and the cadence of humans and their energy, their habits, their routines, and their tasks. The condition that they're in, right? Whether they're stressed, whether there's joy, whether they are in love, or they have pain or curiosity. The context of where they are at the moment, their home, their work, what kind of real-world environment and situation they're in. The connections that they have, whether it's through family or friends. What does AI need to consider? Their teams, all the communities they're a part of. And what are the constraints? They only have a limited amount of time. They only have attention. So for instance, these drivers, they can't be distracted with the phone. They have to be able to talk on the radio. They have to have hands-free. It has to be quick. All these things. What's their health? What kind of resources do the humans have? All of this is designed to be for humans. And so this roadmap of where it goes is that we have to start with the life journey, not the user journey. We need to design for friction and not features. We need to make sure that they're context-aware systems and not input-driven tools. We need to design for human rhythms and not system efficiency. We need to design for orchestration and not manual tasks. And lastly, design for outcomes, not interactions. But why does this matter for many of you here at CloudFest? Every AI agent runs somewhere, and every decision relies on infrastructure. The cloud is becoming really the operating system for intelligence and the foundation for human experience. Cloud providers are not just hosting applications anymore. You are hosting the AI systems that will guide logistics, healthcare, energy, communication, finance, security, and what I call, again, the UX of life. So, the competitive advantage won't be who has AI. It will be who designs the AI experience for humans best. Don't forget that. Thank you so much.